Whenever we are asked to imagine the distant future, flying cars and small robot assistants are two things that come to mind first and foremost. But did you know that China has already turned the surreal dream of flying cars into a reality? In fact, a Chinese airline by the name of Xpeng Zeroth has even demonstrated the capabilities of its flying car twice now, once in the UAE and later in China. Keep watching till the end to find out more about China's revolutionary flying cars worth $140,000. The electric vehicle manufacturer Xpeng Inc., whose founder is a billionaire, He Xiaopeng, is supporting the startup in an effort to get a stake in of the $1 trillion industry by navigating regulatory obstacles. The excitement around flying cars contradicts the reality that rival firms have been wrestling with for years. Even as orders progressively rise, the majority of investors anticipate industry consolidation and company closures in the upcoming years. A flying automobile prototype developed by a Chinese startup is intended to travel on land more often than not, only taking to the air when there are obstructions or traffic jams. A new distributed multi-rotor configuration has been added to Aeroth's flying car, which was created in collaboration with the Chinese automaker Xpeng. The complexity of the design has also been reduced. According to the car's inventors, mass production of the vehicle, which has 8 propellers and 4 electric engines, might begin in 2025. The automobile has a formed value of roughly $140,000. There are traffic issues everywhere as a result of the rise in car ownership in cities. When enlarging highways did not help, we constructed bridges to fly over some of them, and Elon Musk made the decision to construct tunnels beneath them. Yet it seems like traffic problems will not go away. Thus, a new generation of inventors want to create flying automobiles, a small VTOL aircraft that can carry 4 to 5 passengers over short distances and has a vertical takeoff and landing or VTOL capability, is similar to the idea of a flying car. However, Aeroth's idea isn't a flying cab. Rather, it's an automobile that can fly when necessary, but primarily travels by road. Can you imagine that? Whenever you're stuck in a traffic jam, you can just flick a button to unwrap a rotor assembly, which will lift your entire car in the air and get you to a spot from where you can continue your journey ahead. I'm sure this seems like a far-fetched idea, like holographic video call where you can touch the other person. However, Aeroth's idea is no longer just a concept. Rather, the prototype has even made 2 public demo flights. When asked about the busiest potential of the flying car industry, Zhang Zhongyi, a partner at Oliver Wyman consulting firm, said that the industry would take around 10 years for the industry to flourish. Although investors quickly want to discover the Tesla of the flying auto industry, investing in this can turn out to be a tough marathon. By 2040, researchers predict that the urban mobility sector will be worth $1 trillion. The concept of eVTOL has significantly advanced over the last 10 years, and this is probably the idea that will propel the industry forward. So is it just Aeroth at the top of this race for launching flying automobiles? Aeroth is definitely not the only company in the world that has considered this idea. However, the Aeroth prototype is unique in the sense that it is intended to spend 90% of its time on the road and only 10% in the air when necessary, in contrast to other flying vehicle concepts that use VTOLs that can only take off and land using the road. The diminished capacity to fly has an added benefit. The Aeroth flying car could cost as little as $140,000 and go into production as early as 2025. But eVTOLs are anticipated to cost more than $1 million. Along with Aeroth, there are numerous more businesses vying to dominate this industry, like Tesla, both in the United States and China. Even taxi fleet operators and airlines have placed pre-orders with them in an effort to get a competitive advantage. These innovations' commercial viability hasn't yet been put to the test though. Moreover, the regulatory picture is muddy with no government explicitly moving to open up its low-level airspace in cars. Aeroth is collaborating with the regulator to undertake some field tests after China recently designated a few provinces for trials. But equipping a car with rotors and propellers is one thing. Handing the controls to someone who has never flown at all is quite another. Before we see a flying automobile in use on the roads, there are a ton of minute things that still need to be ironed out. Nevertheless, we're surely excited to see how far China manages to dominate in the flying automobile industry. That's all for this video. We'll be back with a new one soon.